In number 10, we are asked to find the domain of the function. Domain, remember, is all possible x values that we could use for this function. So what sticks out in this case is that we have a square root. We cannot take the square root of a negative number because remember that gives you an imaginary answer, and we cannot graph something that's imaginary. So, thinking about that a little more, we can take the square root of 0 though, because 0 times itself is 0. We can also take the square root of any positive number. For instance, the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times itself is 3. So, knowing we cannot take the square root of a negative number means that whatever is underneath that square root, in this case 10 minus 2x, once I do all the simplifying and combining of like terms, has to be greater than or equal to 0. In other words, it cannot be negative. I can now solve this inequality to see exactly what x values I can have. I subtract negative 10. I divide by negative 2. Remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative, your symbol flips. And I am left with x is less than or equal to 5. These are all the possible x values, so that is my domain. I did not have to consider the 5 or the subtraction sign in front because they are already real numbers. I was only concerned that I would get something that I couldn't use, like an imaginary number. This can also be written in interval notation as negative infinity to 5. A bracket is used because it includes the 5 and you had an equal sign. And once again, x can be anything less than 5, so that goes all the way down to negative infinity.